I found myself utterly unable to venture outside. The fear of doing something wrong and embarrassing Kit was paralysing, and I exaggerated the slight cold I'd caught to explain it away to him. I went back to the window and looked at the tops of the birch trees, just seeing some of the dappled white trunks and the pond below. I looked directly out to the northeast and knew that Siberia would send wind and snow, and I would see it all coming from here. I sat on the sofa, looking at the poster of the man and the dog, ready for space. The kind of people who would kill dogs, Kit believed. I didn't know if we were much better. I couldn't concentrate on reading anything. I got the biggest book from Kit's shelves and opened it to look at the photographs. One of Siberia struck me. It looked like early morning or evening, the windows of the simple cabin in the centre glowing bright orange from the fire within. The woman stood in the foreground, wrapped in furs, 2 rabbits hanging from one glove. Other than the window, the colours were cold, white snow still unshaken from black boughs, their shadows casting the snow blue. The forest which surrounded the cabin could have hidden anything, bears, wolves, and that woman, fur hood pulled low, would have known the tracks of each of them. Light was everywhere, in the sky, reflecting from the snow, illuminating the trees she would cut with for her fire. I envied her mastery of the wilderness, knowing that I would last 2 hours before getting lost or eaten. I did fear getting lost. I looked out of my window at the straight, wide rows and carefully spaced blocks of apartments and stretches of green leaves between them. The buildings were so similar, the trees masking any landmarks. Kit had told me that the city people still foraged in the bits of forest for mushrooms and berries, still loved the distorted nature of their wild spaces, however small. I'd been out for a couple of short walks, but they felt aimless. All the interesting buildings were right in the centre, and I wasn't ready for that. I wanted to see it all, but I feared that Moscow was not going to live up to the photographs in his books, and those I'd seen in the library, of rich churches and carved wood dachas. I was torn between my expectations and what I might find. I told myself that, but I wonder if it was really the thought of the militiamen guarding the building, making notes about me, that worried me most. Only when I thought about it, I was excited. To be so dull and at the same time so interesting. Anything I did would be noted. Maybe I had performance anxiety. I waited for Kit. In fact, I'd been waiting for Kit for so long that the soup was in danger of evaporating away. He'd been so regular about coming home that, now he was late, I had to remind myself he'd warned me that this would happen. A drink with Charlie and work meals. Things cropped up. But having him not come home made me feel vulnerable. I could hear people in the hallway, voices next door, footsteps above me. I put a record on and watched the sparrows settle in the birch trees.